Good day! Today is April 2nd and it's 0 degrees outside, and I've decided that I think it's time to prune my shrubs. All of these shrubs are first years, and so there probably won't be much pruning to do, but I'm ready with my pruning shears, and I've been told I should clean them with rubbing alcohol in between in case so you don't spread disease. So I'm gonna do that. And also, just look for dead, damaged, and diseased canes and branches. Cut those out. And also for shape and anything that's crossing and interfering with the airflow that's supposed to happen inside the shrub in the center. So that's what my research tells me. Just a heads up, it's been a week since I put this little mini greenhouse up, and it's actually withstood a windstorm. So good news there. Okay, I'll go through each shrub and let you know what shrub it is and how I'm gonna prune it. And then I'll just fast forward through them all. I can't help it, I'm just so excited to start that I probably shouldn't start this early, but oh well. The first shrub I have is a wintergreen Euonymus. Not sure how to pronounce it. It doesn't really need any pruning unless you wanted to make it a roundabout shape. It's an evergreen, so it keeps its leaves. I'm just gonna look for anything that is dead or damaged, and kind of just shape it in a more rounded format. Now, it's not even gonna stay here, actually. I'm gonna be bringing it to the backyard. So I'll be moving this in a few weeks, or maybe a month from now. This is a rhododendron that I think did not do well over the winter, and the 4 buds I did have on it were taken by rodents, squirrels, I guess. And there was a cane that broke off or was chewed off. And then I think I've got this 1 bud left. It's just also the leaves have browned. They're supposed to be evergreen. I'm not sure the variety. I bought this a long time ago before I even got into gardening, and plopped it here where there's, I think, too much shade for it, to be honest. So I'm going to give it 1 more year, bring it to the backyard in a sunny spot, see if it survives. If it does not, it's probably because I bought a variety that was more for zone 5 and just didn't know at the time when I bought it. It was I think it was at a grocery store, to be honest. So we'll see if it makes it. If it doesn't, that's okay too. I wouldn't prune rhododendron in the spring at all, because you'd be cutting off the buds since it flowers in the spring. So I wouldn't touch this one. I'm just gonna move it in a few weeks. After it, actually no, in quite a few weeks, because I would have to wait until it blooms, and then I would probably transplant it. Correct me if I'm wrong. My Cedar Globe is also going to be moving to the backyard. There's nothing to prune here. They're beautifully, perfectly round, and 0 winter damage, even though it had tons of heavy snow on it, flattening it. It still looks great. In the backyard, I've got a Moonglow juniper, and again, it's just from last season in the summer, so it's so new, and it does not need any pruning at the time. There's a bit of a gap opening here. I'm a little worried about maybe some damaged. Oof. But other than that, it looks pretty good. It'll probably fluff up a bit in a couple weeks. You get to witness a dramatic reveal. This is my Endless Summer Hydrangea, the original. And I tried to protect it from winds and wildlife, and hopefully this little mock-up of protection has saved it. Some of the buds forming, because it does bloom on old wood, but this variety also blooms on new wood. It's just you have to wait longer for the blooms to arrive in mid to late summer, and I would like to have some spring blooms, so hopefully the buds didn't dry out. We'll see. Okay, I had piled a bunch of leaves to act as insulated mulch and probably disturbing some bugs right now. I just want to give it some room and breathe. Now, you're not supposed to prune these back, especially it's just a first year, so there's nothing really to prune. I'll just deadhead the spent leaves from last year. And let's see if I close up. I do see some green buds right there. Maybe 2. The other 2 on top look a little dried out. Not sure if they'll make it. I've got another one down there that looks good. Let's see this one. Oh, got something down there. Okay, so it's looking good. Purple leaf or plum leaf smoke bush. It's got long canes, and I will probably take them down just by 1/3. I'll also get rid of some of these new growth little twiggy ones, because I don't want it to be too full at the bottom. I want to plant stuff around it, so I'd rather just have all the energy go into the larger canes. But I do want to always prune back smoke bush, because the new growth is always more purple than the old growth of the leaves. Just looks nicer. And you can even prune these all the way right down to about a couple inches, and then they'll just grow rapidly throughout. So it depends how big you want it. I do want it a lot larger than this, so I am going to just take off 1/3. My Limelight Hydrangea, I'm just going to deadhead and take out some of the crossing canes. The center is pretty open up right now anyways, but I'll just take out anything that looks crossing or damaged and leave it grow. I want this one to go nice and big in this corner, like as tall as the fence if possible. This is my Dappled Willow shrub, and I am just going to prune it 1/3 down and take out, oh, squirrel, take out some of the crossing canes. Everything looks pretty healthy. I don't think anything's damaged on it. This is my Firelight Hydrangea, and I'll deadhead it. And I wish this was a little bit more upright. There's a huge hole in the middle here. It's kind of leaning down, but I'll try to shape it better, like prune it to shape. But I feel like there must have been something that came along and deadheaded for me. I'm noticing a lot, I'd say half of these canes look like something's been pruning for me. So I'll just clean it up and try to reshape it a little bit. This is also moving to that area where it can get a little bit more sun. My corner boxwood, I'm going to shape, I think it is a round one. I forget the variety I got. Oh wait, I think I still have the tag on it. Hello. Green mountain boxwood. Yeah, it's supposed to be round, but I think I can probably shape it to be a little bit more tall and thin for this corner. I am slipping on ice. I can't believe there's still ice. Yeah, I just kind of want it to grow tall and thin. I might have put it too close to the corner, but I'll just keep shaping it in the area I want. My rainbow pillar serviceberry shrub. This is very upright, and I wanted that on purpose because I love the serviceberry colors. Like, I love the flowers in the spring, the berries in the summer, and how the leaves turn kind of red orange in the fall. So I really wanted a serviceberry something. And what I think I'm gonna do with this one, because it's growing exactly the shape I want. I'm just going to get rid of some of the, I don't know if they're suckers, but I really want to aim this to be maybe like 3 or 5 strong canes or branches. I don't know what to call them, I guess. Trunks. So I just want a few to keep it very narrow. And then I'm not gonna prune anything at the top. I just want it to keep growing taller and taller. This is an Ivory Hallo Redtwig Dogwood. And I'm not sure if the canes are supposed to be so curly, but when I bought it, they were curling all the way to the ground, and I cut off when I bought it in like August. It was on sale because it had, I think, just grown in its pot in the nursery or the garden center all summer long. Maybe that's why they're curly. I'm not sure, because when I look it up, they're usually straight up, which is originally what I want. So I'm not sure if I should prune this down so that they can grow straight up, like maybe the weight of the leaves, I don't know, I'm not sure, or just leave it alone. I think I'm just going to cut off the I don't know if this is from winter damage, but I know that they're just supposed to be red, and you just cut off anything that's brown. And you're not really supposed to, you can see the shape of the nursery size. I'm not sure if you're supposed to prune them their first year. I heard it's every like second year, and anything that's brown or disease damage. But then they also say, you know, do it to shape. Well, shape is funky. Anyways, I'll make a decision. You'll see in the video. We'll find out. This is purple leaf Sandcherry shrub, and I bought it again at the end of the season on sale, but it's got some 2 strong canes and it's looking good. Nothing looks damaged or diseased, and I'm not going to prune it because they say that you're supposed to prune sandcherries after blooms in the spring, so it's just going to stay exactly like this. I do have to move it. It's not going to belong here because I'm putting in a patio in this exact area from here all the way around the existing patio. I'm going to move the sandcherry all the way over here. Those are all the shrubs, and now it's time to prune. I cleaned it off, and I wanted you to see this more carefully, how the new growth is coming in, even through ice. That's ice right there, and there's still growth somehow pushing up through the ice. And then I also was noticing that I did get a lot of, I think, I don't know, it's like, it looked like damage or maybe disease, and definitely a lot of dry buds, and there's a dry bud. So I've been snipping sort of kind of below, like here's an example. This is dried, And then these buds are dry. And then this bud down here looks like it's got mold on it. So from what everyone has told me is that I should cut this cane down to the next, you know, area that's healthy. Or is that a mistake? I think this is also damaged, right? The cane, like that coming off right there. They say if you dig with your nail and there's no green, right? So I can cut probably this all the way down. That bud's not gonna make it. Yeah. Okay, that's what I'll do then. So I'll cut this off and then, oh, it's so bright from the sun, but it is green underneath. And this one, same idea. It's all dry, but it's green. So I guess it's just the tip. So I'll just, like the tip right here. I don't know. It's green again. So I guess I'm gonna leave it, but this edge here is so dry. It's confusing. I'm confused. I'm gonna cut it anyway. It was green the whole way through. Maybe I shouldn't have cut it. Well, this is the thing. I'm just learning. Yeah, this dried out. But again, if I do this, it's green underneath. So I guess I leave it or cut it back to the buds. Got it back to the buds. This is where Cynthia just makes up the rules. Same one, it's a completely dried up bud at the very tip. I can cut it back to the next bud and hopefully that will stimulate something. I don't know. Okay, I think it's done, hopefully. For the smoke bush, I removed a lot of the thin kind of baby canes growing from the bottom. I just wanted to focus on a few strong ones, and I also want to plant something underneath, so I don't want it to be too condensed at the bottom. I took off a third from the top, but I left these and didn't take off. And this way I want it to be nice and big and see how that does. I know this part will probably be a little bit more green on the leaves than the new growth will be. And I also made sure I cut where where the buds, where you want the next buds to grow out. So in the research, and I've been told that that's where you're supposed to cut. So you have to look at where the bud is and then cut above it if you want that bud to spring outwards. And it always should be outside of the plant, not in towards the plant, if that makes sense. Same thing for the Limelight Hydrangea. I just took down a third, got rid of all the crossing branches, aired out the middle, and took away anything that looks like little spindly kind of suckers. I just want it to be on kind of one thicker trunk, kind of, and then have everything come out of that. It's confusing for the Dappled Willow because I think my main trunk here it's lopsided. It's kind of aiming towards one side, so I wasn't sure if I should get rid of this guy, because obviously this is the main, but it does go off to the side almost. And then I have like, these clearly get in each other's way, and you're not, according to all of my research, that is not good for a shrub. So let me know if one of these have got to go, and like which one. So they do go into each other right there. And then this one, do I get rid of it? But that, I kind of, it's lopsided. Everything's like this way, and there's nothing coming out this way. But I mean, I could also try to turn it into a tree and get rid of all of this stuff on this side and that guy and just focus on these two that intertwine. And then I plant just like taller plants around it, and that would be, I don't know. This one's tricky. They like to grow into each other. I tried to air it out as much as possible. I even have this guy. He's crossing. He's not supposed to do that. I'll have to trim this guy. He's going right into the middle. I forgot that one. Let's see if I could do it with my nail. No, it's not thin enough for my nail. So I'll have to come back into that one. Cleaned out the Firelight hydrangea. This is such a weird shape. There's hardly anything in the center area growing, so it's kind of looks like it would be a floppy hydrangea. It's not. It's got some really sturdy stems. It's just nothing seems to be growing in the middle. It's like this should have been going straight up. This I broke off by accident in the time-lapse video. I just kind of like went to look under it for this guy and it just snapped, and it's so green. I don't know why. You know what? I'm probably doing this a bit too early in the season. Maybe I'm a little too excited. It's April 2nd and maybe I should have waited another 2 weeks, but I started to see buds growing on some of the other branches and canes, and I was like, oh, well, yeah, I should definitely maybe start. I just didn't want to. Oh, and I just noticed that this is very dry here, so I'm just gonna cut to the next bud. And then, there we go. I must have missed that one. Okay, that's it. For the rainbow pillar Serviceberry shrub, I decided to keep 6 main canes. I couldn't bring myself to cut. I mean, maybe I could cut this one and, you know, this one here, and then that would leave me with 4. I could even cut this one, and then I would have 3 strong ones. But I'm not ready for that yet because it's just still so small, and I do want it to feel full in this area. So maybe in a couple of years I'll reduce it down to 3. Right now it's gonna stay 5. Oh, 6. Oh, it's 6, right? Okay, so it's gonna stay 6 for now. The only reason why I'm keeping the one that seems really far off is because I think I'm gonna need that for balance, but hard to tell. Obviously the strongest one is right here, and I can probably turn this into a tree if I wanted to. Because it's straight up, it's got the focus, it's the thickest, it's the strongest. I could technically cut off all the others and make a Serviceberry tree in this area. I'll show you the area. So it's kind of like the larger part of the flower bed, and the tree could technically grow up to like here. And then I can still plant stuff around the tree. I don't know, what do you think? Should I make it a tree or keep it a shrub? Bird went crazy on the dogwood. I didn't like the curl. I didn't want the curling canes, so like this was like the only one that wasn't curling up until here. So he's the tallest. But I know dogwoods are fine and they handle everything, and I know that it'll be okay. I got rid of all the crossing ones and all the curling ones, and anything that looked dried out, damaged, maybe disease. I saw one that had canker, maybe, but I don't know what canker looks like. So is that canker? I don't know. Anyways, I got rid of anything that looked like that. And I'm just gonna leave. He's so little again, but that's okay. Also, what's happening with this? Should I be peeling this fabric away? Should I have done that? Like, I don't even remember seeing that in the pot. I think my pot was bigger. I am on a slope here, so maybe the soil has washed away and revealed its little nursery. Looks like fabric. So should I get rid of that, or does it matter? It probably doesn't matter because the roots are underneath and they're probably just spreading through that thing. I don't think it can contain anything. It's already falling apart. It's just been one season. So, okay. Anyways, leaving it. This is hopefully gonna get big enough that it covers up the AC unit. I just have to maybe stop pruning it so much. I don't know. Hopefully it grows, they grow straight canes instead of curly canes. That's it for today's video. Next up is going to be a perennial cleanup. So just, I left all of the flowers last fall and didn't cut anything back just because I know some of the seed heads get eaten by the birds and stuff. So I left everything as it was, and then I put some leaf as mulch down and some straw. And so I'll just be kind of like revealing each perennial that I have in the bed, and then cleaning off and seeing which ones survived and which ones didn't, and cutting out anything that's dead so that the stuff growing underneath can see the light of day. So that'll be tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then next weekend. Okay, have a good week.